Are you feeling a little bit overwhelmed by your partner? Do they depend on you just a little bit too much? Well, in episode number 187 of Making a Case, we're talking about signs that you've become someone's safety net. Let's get into it. Hey, what up, you two? We back at you with another episode of Making a Case. I'm your host, Dr. Jacob Isom. We got two channel norms over here. One, we take points on our people. Two, we don't do all that cussing derogatory stuff. Excuse me. Oh, now got another interesting episode for you today. We talking about signs you become someone safety net. We're gonna go a little bit of a different direction with this video because you can go different ways when you talk about being someone's safety net. A lot of times it's emotional, right? It could be financial. Hell, it could be spiritual. But I'm more so talking about it from the aspect of the emotional side of point of view of it. And like I said, we can come at it from different angles, but one thing that you definitely don't want to be, because you don't want to be dependent, nor do you want to be independent, especially talking about being in a relationship. There's no such thing as being independent, right? The reason why you get into a relationship so you can be dependent in some shape or form, but it's not dependency, it's interdependency, right? But there has to be a healthy balance between you and your partner, right? And it's not easy at all. It takes a lot of communication, it takes a lot of trust, it takes a lot of honesty, and it takes time, right? You don't build Rome overnight. So you really got to get a feel, because a lot of time, and I hear women say this a lot, um, talking about vibe and connection. That sounds good, right? In theory, but really what you're talking about is compatibility. You're talking about alignment. These are the words that we should be using more often when talking about being with somebody, right? Because vibe and connection, that's broad, right? And a lot of times, if we're going to be honest, that's physical. All right. Are you physically attracted to somebody? That's the vibe and connection somebody talking about. When you're talking about alignment, compatibility, you're talking about personality, you're talking about character, right? Um, who are they as a person? So, and you don't want to become what you'll see a lot of times, and you'll see this like being on the job, right? When your employer or your boss or somebody at that job find out that you're good at what you do, a lot of time they'll try to exploit it. And it happens in relationship all the time, where people can get exploited for their good nature, right? Being competent. People get exploited all the time. Trust me, I've been there. All right. So that's kind of the direction that we're going with when we're talking about signs you being someone safety net, because a lot of times, I mean, people have been through a lot of trauma. And so when you find somebody that you can depend on, then um and it's a good thing of having somebody that is supportive, but it can also be abusive in some sense, if you're not actually, balancing it out. Remember, we talked about reciprocity in a few videos ago. So that's the direction we're going. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first clip I have for you. Let's do it.
Most in a relationship is emotional security, especially if she's been hurt in the past. Emotional security is what allows women to trust, open up, and be vulnerable. If a woman is constantly on guard, confrontational, or controlling, she probably doesn't feel emotionally secure with you. She either feels like she can't rely on you to stick around, or that she can't depend on you to support her emotionally. Without that emotional safety, a woman will be preoccupied with getting hurt or abandoned. And that's when the walls go up. Women need stability and reassurance. It's what makes intimacy and connection possible. If you want a woman to be more loving, relaxed, or intimate, then give her that emotional security. And I promise you, she'll give you the world. What women need most in a relationship.
And now let me say this. I don't necessarily disagree with what she said, but here's the problem, because a lot of times we so black and white about things, because typically what you will see from women and from people in a relationship, either they're not giving you the trust because they are traumatized and damaged from previous relationships, or they depending on you too much, right? We have to work on as people that healthy medium, right? That balance, right? It goes back to that alignment, right? So it is not someone else's job to make sure you are emotionally secure. Let me say that. Okay. You have to do the work before you get into a relationship with somebody and become emotionally secure. Deal with your baggage, deal with your trauma, deal with your past relationship, get over your past relationship. Okay. You shouldn't be coming into a new relationship expecting someone to make sure you're emotionally secure. You're supposed to be emotionally mature before you meet that person. It's no different than when they say happy he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Well, I have to find a wife first. You have to be a wife first, right? I don't come into your life and then all of a sudden I train you how to become a wife. Now, will I actually lead you and guide you in the direction of how I would like things? Yes. But you need to have the basics down before you even get to me. It's no different than being when we talk about emotional security, all right? Are your emotions in check? When you hear things, see things, when certain things happen, are you able to regulate your emotions and respond in a healthy manner? But that work belongs to you. All right, let's get into the next clip.
Get out of this idea that if we just give enough, someone is going to respect us, they're going to value us, they're going to have a wake up call. What makes someone value something is when they realize that they can't, it's not just a given, that they do have to show up in a certain way to keep getting that. We have to get out of this idea that if we just give enough, someone is going to respect us, they're going to value us, they're going to have a wake up call. What makes someone value something is when they realize that they can't, it's not just a given, that they do have to show up in a certain way to keep getting that. We have to get out of this idea.
And he's absolutely right, right? So when you're talking about becoming someone's safety net, right? It's because they have shown up for you, right? And sometimes in more ways than you thought they were, right? And so you start developing trust, you develop stronger feelings, right? But the value has to be shown in order to get that trust, in order for someone to become so comfortable that they really depend on you more than they should be depending on you, right? Because like I said, it's about interdependency. You got to be able to stand on your own too, while at the same time be supported and be able to function in a relationship where it's tit for tat, yin for yang, whatever you want to call it, right? I do this, you do that. We have a system, right? We understand what our roles is in this relationship, right? All of that is healthy, functional relationship goals, if you will. Okay. But you have to show that value as he's speaking, right? You have to show up for somebody, but you don't want to be a crutch. Don't want to be someone's safety net. You want to make sure you can stand on your own too. All right. Let's get into I got one more clip. We won't prolong this. Let's get into it.
To a place where we both understand that as long as we show up the way that we need to show up for each other, we have each other's back. We will be here. But neither of us will tolerate an unhealthy relationship and someone who blatantly does not want to work on making this better. We have to get to a place where we both understand that as long as we show up the way that we need to show up for each other.
And just absolutely correct, right? So what does, a healthy, secure attachment look like? Where it looked like where you holding your weight and I'm holding mine, right? You're accountable and I'm accountable. You apologize and I apologize because we both mess up, right? You have the things that you do and are good at and an expert at, and I also have the things that I'm good at and an expert at, right? So we both bring something now. in one regard, you're way better than me or something. And in another regard, I'm better than you. That's why it's important when we talk about compatibility and alignment. If you don't have that, you're going to struggle. Okay. And the thing about it is, you have to be intentional. I promise you, I got something coming for you in this summer. Okay. I'm going to talk more about it when I'm closer to release it. I have something for you. Right. But you have to understand, you have to be intentional when seeking out people, when having people in your life long term. Okay. That's something that you can't not take seriously. Okay. You don't want anyone depending on you too much where they need you for everything. They can't stand on their own too. Both parties have to be willing to grow, and both parties have to be able in the relationship. All right. We're going to end that there, man. Let me know what your thoughts on becoming someone's safety net. Please comment. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it. All right. Let's get them subs up. Let's get them likes up. All right. But as always, you know I rock with you. And as always, I'm you, you are me. Love always, love return. Remember, the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself. And we out this thing. Deuces. One love.